it's Scarlet. I'm back with another gameplay video of LeBlanc vs Draven. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, so it begins with a dice roll. Apologies for the reflection, but I rolled a 14 and my opponent rolled a 13, so I decided to go first. So fast forward all the sideboarding, my opponent chose my battlefield, which was the Windswept Heal Lock, where all units here have ganking, and I chose their Candlelit Sanctum, which is when I conquer, look at the top 2 cards and recycle one or both, putting them in my deck. So after I decide to go first, we cut our decks and then we go. Okay, so for my starting hand, I have 1 Sprite Fountain, 1 Thousand Tail Watcher, 1 Watchful Sentry, and 1 Imperial Decree. So I decided to keep my hand because I kind of have a 2-drop and I thought it would be okay. So I started first and I draw for turn, so I'll play my Watchful Sentry and then I'll pass to my opponent. So my opponent plays stack deck and then they look at the top 3 cards in their hand, but I think they pick Darius. Okay, they shuffle and then they return it back. So the stack deck resolves and they play a Overzealous Fan and end their turn. So back to me, I channel and then draw for turn. Yeah, I decide to move up with my Watchful Sentry. And then I use my LeBlanc ability to mirror the Watchful Sentry. So I discard a LeBlanc, then I mirror the Watchful Sentry and gank over to the Candlelight Sanctum. Opponent says okay, so I go for 2. I decide to recycle both of the cards to the bottom of my deck. I float 1, and then I'm gonna play my seal. Oops, seal, okay. I play my seal, and then I play LeBlanc from the bench. And then I think I end my turn. I decided to discard my LeBlanc because I thought that in that scenario, at least I have a LeBlanc on the bench to play. I don't really want to risk dropping my Imperial Decree or Thousand Tail Watcher in case I need it later. So anyway, my opponent comes up with the Overzealous Fan, and because of the death, I get to draw 1. My opponent draws 1 because they want the combat. They are looking at the top 2 cards because of the Conquer effect. It seems to be 1 Kaisa and 1, if I'm not wrong, it looks like Overzealous from the top 2. My opponent puts the Kaisa on the top of the deck and the second card at the bottom of their deck. Then they go to 1, then now they play their turn. My opponent taps 5 for Darius and ends his turn. Okay, so back to me, I'm awakening everything. And I decide to not use my legend ability and take the point for the Watchful Sentry for holding. Okay, I think here's my thought process. I think I didn't use the LeBlanc's ability on the Watchful Sentry so that I can use my LeBlanc to attack the Overzealous Fan. And if my opponent pushes me back with the Overzealous Fan, I will cast the Sprite Fountain to go up and take the point. I think that was the strat. But because my opponent didn't push me back, I just decided to duplicate my LeBlanc. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know if risking it was the move or being safe to duplicate my Watchful Sentry would be better here. But technically, I guess it's okay. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking about what to discard. It's kind of a hard choice because what would I discard here? Oh, I decided to discard my mirror image. It's kind of interesting because now I wouldn't know what I would play here. Because the previous turn I threw away the LeBlanc. I don't really have any smaller drops to play here except for my Sprite. Okay, so after I use my legend ability, I'm using the battlefield effect, which is to look at the top 2 cards. So I'm thinking about whether I want to recycle both of them, and I decide to recycle both of them. Technically, I can recycle them in any order I want. I don't really have to shuffle them, so mental note for next time. Oh my god, I decided to end my turn with 5 runes up. Okay, to be fair, I think I don't really have much to play. I think in my mind I was like, okay, if he hits me, maybe I can Imperial Decree. But honestly, I should have just played my Sprite or move my Watchful Sentry down. Because Darius can just hit my Watchful Sentry and then I lose a unit for no reason. So that's really a bad move from me. So my opponent goes for stack deck. And then they are just looking for more resources on what to play. And they put Gust into their hand. Okay, then the other 2 go down. I think one was a switcheroo, if I saw correctly. Okay, and then they have 5 runes left. So my opponent plays Piercing Light on the Watchful Sentry with no repeat. So my Watchful Sentry dies, and I draw one for the Death Knell effect. So my opponent's clarifying that I have 6 might, and because another card was played, Darius has 7 might. So 7 coming to 6, I decided to react with an Imperial Decree. Which is... oh why? Why did I decide to react with Imperial Decree? Okay. I mean, sure. Darius loses. I guess it's okay. It's so... but why? Okay, I guess in my mind it's like, I don't want my opponent to take the battlefield and have a big ass Darius there. If I'm gonna die anyway, I might as well take him down with me. I don't know, maybe that's what Scarlet was thinking. But okay, and then my opponent ends with playing Overzealous Fan. So I do draw 2 for the Death Knells of the 2 LeBlancs. But now my board has no units, and I'm at 6 runes because I had to return 1 from the Imperial Decree. Honestly, I think the best move here would to be playing the Sprite and the Carters in my hand, I think. I think the best move for me here would to be playing the Sprite Fountain, because I can quickly get the 2 points by going into Windswept Hillock and then ganking over. Especially because I'm ahead in points at 4 and my opponent is at 1. So I decided to play Carters first, so that I can get the Death Knell effects of my Sprite Fountain later. And then I probably play the 2... I go for the Sprite Fountain, and then I return 1 rune, and then bam! The Sprite comes out. Okay, so I play my Sprite, using a buff as a temporary. So I come up to Windswept Hillock. My opponent's checking the card. This is okay, and I go to 5. And then I use my leader ability to duplicate the Sprite. And I'm probably discarding the Broker here, because next turn I have 7 runes, so I can either play Thousand Tail Watcher or I can play the Kaisa or Ruin Rex. So I'm ganking over with the Sprite, and then I go to 6. Oh, my opponent's using a Gust to gust my Sprite away, back to hand, so it disappears. Okay, so now it's back to my opponent's turn. My opponent plays Kaisa Accelerated, and then they come out to Windswept Hillock. So my Sprite dies, and they get to draw 1 for Kaisa and 1 for winning the combat. So they go up to 2 points. Boop. And then their Overzealous Fan comes up to get the 3 points. So using the Conquer effects, they put Rebuke at the top of the deck and something else I couldn't see at the bottom. And then it's back to me. So at the start of my turn, the Sprite Fountain dies. And because I have Cutters on the board, I get to repeat the Death Knell. Then the Sprite Fountain goes into the trash. So I channel 2. Then draw 1 for turn. So I have 7 runes. So what I could do here would be to play the Thousand Tail Watcher, perhaps, so that everything would be 1 might on board. But okay, I'm thinking about it. Asking my opponent how many cards they have in their hand. My opponent has 4 cards in his hand. I'm thinking about the sequencing of whether I should play first or use my Sprites first, because my opponent has 2 runes up. So I move on with my Sprite to the Overzealous Fan. Definitely a misplay here, because I feel like I should have casted something first. My opponent pushes me back with the Overzealous Fan, so I don't manage to conquer the battlefield. I totally didn't remember this ability at all, because I think in the previous few turns, when I attacked, the opponent didn't push me back. So I try again with my other unit, and my opponent plays a Falling Star. But the Falling Star has no reaction, so it can't be played. So I managed to conquer the Candlelit Sanctum. So I look at the top 2 cards using the battlefield effects, and I'm thinking about it. I think most likely I would go with Imperial Decree here. Or maybe I'll recycle both, because I kind of need more smaller units to play around. Okay, I think I recycle both, yeah. Because in my hand, I have a lot of the big units like Rune Rex, Thousand Tail Watcher. So I kind of want more of my LeBlancs and Cartuses, especially my Glass Mixologists. So okay, I managed to clear up one side and I'm looking at the battlefield with Kaisa. So I'm thinking about what I should do here to attack. So most probably I could just play Thousand Tail Watcher and then call it a day, or maybe Ruin Rex or Kaisa. But I play Call the Weak, so my opponent has to kill their Kaisa, and then I kill my sprite. Actually, that's not a bad. Oh, actually, that move is pretty good. I didn't really think about it. Past Scarlet did a good job. So I move on my Cartus and I go to 7. I tap my leader ability and I discard. All the big boys. I probably would discard Ruin Rex here. Because Kaisa can let me place my spells like Call the Weak. And Thousand Tail Watcher is always good. Yeah! Okay, not bad. I feel like sometimes present me can't see what past me can see. And past me can't see what current me can see. So it's kind of funny. Okay, so back to my opponent. My opponent has 2, 4, 6, 8 runes up. They play a Falling Star. And they target the Windswept Hewlock to kill both of my Cartuses. Then my opponent taps 2 to play Rebuke on my sprite, so the sprite dies. And then my opponent plays the Noxus Hopeful for 2. And then they tap 2 more to play a Tide Turner, and they end their turn. So back to me. If I double conquer here, I can win because I'm at 7 and my opponent's at 3. So I channel 2, draw 1, I have 4 cards in my hand. So I tap 8 runes and I play my Thousand Tail Watcher Accelerated. I return 2 runes and then I move up to Windswept Hewlock and I can go for my double conquer for my 8 point. So yeah, GG's! Honestly, throughout this game, I made a few mistakes here and there, like forgetting that Overzealous Fan can actually push me back. I think maybe throwing LeBlanc wasn't really the best choice at one point. I also think the large reason for this game was also because I went first and my battlefield happened to be the Windswept Hewlock, which allowed me to snowball for points really fast. Honestly, for the Sydney regional qualifiers, I'm very nervous about how it's gonna be because it's my first ever official tournament and it's coming up in 3 weeks. Honestly, I think I'm going through a bit of a deck crisis because I don't know what kind of deck I want to bring. How should I change my deck? If you guys have ever been to any of the regional qualifiers or any of the official events, please give me some advice and leave it in the comments down below. Also, I wanted to say thanks for all the support on the recent Unleashed unboxing videos. I'll be doing more videos and experimenting with the different types of content, so stay tuned! Also, we are still doing the 500 subscriber giveaway and we are very close, so remember to click the subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching this video, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ooh, out!